All right. Welcome to the Broskiedoodles Podcast. Your host, Kiko Cervantes in the hizzle, my sidekick, my bodyguard, the future inheritor, if that's a word, of all the richnesses of the Broskiedoodles. Your boy, DJ BJ, known in the Miami dark scenes. I already said. How you doing, bro? Tell the people what's up.
Yo, bro, what's up, bro? Miami's going crazy.
It's going crazy. We had our boy he has a survivor story today. And there's a lot of stories out there going on in the media about hero stories, about survivor stories, and we got one today. But you know, because our boy just survived some crazy shit yesterday, from what I understand, BJ, you wanted to sort of, you know, let it a bit loose, go out there, socialize, and you're in the Miami region. So how was it out there? How was it last night?
Well, so I mean, there's a hero in our midst. No, I wouldn't consider myself a hero. Survivor, yes, definitely. And you know, you learn a lot from what you go through, and you apply it to your daily life. But basically, as a result of the majority of Americans trying to get vaccinated, some states, including the state of Florida, are starting to ease up restrictions as far as like going out or meeting up in enclosed areas. You know, here in Florida, you don't really have to tell people much to do things, because like you tell them, oh, okay, now you can take off your mask, or now you don't have to put on masks, and they're like, well, we weren't already wearing masks anyway, so
now we're gonna just spit on people's mouth,
basically. Shit. So yeah, I went out to some places yesterday, one of which is Lincoln Beer Brewery. If you're ever in town, you have to try this beer that they have called La Guapa, which has guava infused in the beer. It's delicious.
Okay. Little parentheses here. On my Spanish podcast, I was talking about this fucking new fad with this IPA beers and this fucking
the IPA,
brewery bullshit, whatever the fuck. And they're always like, yeah, I'm gonna grab fucking potatoes and I'm gonna ferment it in my fucking backyard, and it's amazing, and it costs $25. And he's like, no, give me a fucking Budweiser, a Heineken, and stop this bullshit selling me beer like this a fucking milkshake. Fucks up my stomach. But anyways, when I do visit you, my dog, we will go to the Lincoln Brewery and we will do the whole posh whatever Art Basel shit that's going on there. So you go to this place.
Onwards. Right. I mean, and I don't know when it became a thing for like beer breweries to have like social gathering sites on site of the brewery. Like you don't see that at Budweiser, the factory in Michigan, where there's like outside there's like a bar with just serving the Budweiser brewery, like the Budweiser beer.
And is this a local beer?
This is a local. I mean, obviously this is a brewery local to Miami, and only that brewery like brews whatever that they brew. They also have some imports of like other companies. They also have like some Budweisers. And
I mean, to me,
stuff.
it just looks like you have a small brewery. Because it's a small brewery, it's not like you sell that much, but might as well make a little bar out of it. You can get a lot more money for each beer, because if you're selling the beer to supermarkets for $2, for example, you can sell it, you know, to this fucking new gypsy, new age hippies for $7.99 on happy hour.
And then they're saying that it's cheap.
Right. So, but anyways, because they sell you on the thing like, oh, because you're buying it direct, it's cheaper. It's like,
right, of course.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna let my hating aura down real quick, just because I'm pretty sure that it was a nice experience and a nice environment. So, so walk us through it and your thoughts, you know, in relationship to what we've been talking about.
I mean, the first thing right off the back is nobody was wearing a mask. Like, coming into that place.
Okay, this was on May 15th. Today's May 16th. So this is right. May 15th. Now, before that, and maybe you hadn't gone out too much either, but before that, people weren't wearing masks either, or how was it?
it was my understanding that you were required to wear masks inside of a facility. Inside, like once it's indoors, you have to go put on the mask inside. If you're outdoors, then the whole 6 feet rule applies and they spread you out and all that stuff.
So, for example, in this social gathering, before this date, you could have still gone in there, and while inside, you don't wear a mask.
What I have understood is that before this date, before they wrote the ordinance where they're lifting all the restrictions from Florida businesses as far as COVID is concerned, you had to wear a mask inside, and only if you were consuming something could you remove it, but then you'd have to put it back on. Okay.
All right, but let's just say, would you agree with me that even before, people were very loose with it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so now what you notice, it looked a lot more loose. Because masks are not even required anymore?
Not even from the workers. Because sometimes like you'd see that like where a facility would have people with no mask, but the workers would have masks. But now not even the workers were wearing masks.
But so the law allows it now to not wear a mask.
Right.
In Florida.
The law removes restrictions.
Okay. Well, this is one thing before you move forward. People that are like maybe screaming at the screen now, like, what the fuck? Why aren't like, that's crazy, right? They're not wearing masks. But on one side, if you want everybody to be vaccinated and you push for that, the other side of it should be more freedom, like, and I know for sure that in Florida, I know that in the US in general, but in Florida, they're fucking vaccinating everybody and their mom. No fucking problems. Like everybody that I talk to here in Spain, they're still vaccinating the 98-year-old people.
And they're doing trials. They're waiting to see what happens.
Yeah. When the vaccine gets to me, we're gonna have the next virus. So okay. But would you agree maybe then that like, okay, I understand less restrictions if you have a lot of people vaccinated and you're really pushing for it?
Definitely the assumption that they're undertaking that it might not be true is that everybody that walks into that facility is vaccinated. They're under that assumption, or that they're under that idea that you wouldn't expose yourself to be in that situation without a mask unless you were vaccinated. And I started asking the people like that I was with, they were all vaccinated except for one person that wasn't vaccinated, but then that person was still not wearing a mask. I didn't get that part. Like, right. How can you comfortably sit there even though you're assuming that, let's say 70% of the people that are in the room are vaccinated? Right? Mm-hmm. You don't know about the other 30% theoretically, and even then, you could also come across the variants, the mutations.
So you were a bit concerned about what you saw.
I mean, even though my situation is different, I was still wearing a mask the whole time. I chose not to, to do that. And my friend in 3 different occasions told me like, John, that they removed the ordinance for the masks. I'm like, yeah, I'm aware of that, but I still want to wear it.
Okay.
Because of the experience that I went through,
okay.
Like.
Well, as a libertarian myself, who always goes against the government, if the government is now telling me that I don't have to wear the mask, I'm gonna wear it. Fuck you. It's my right.
Because now you're like, fuck, if the government's telling me not to wear it, they're doing some shady shit.
Like imagine people.
I'm gonna wear it.
Imagine conservatives that are so hardcore that when the government was telling them to wear the mask, right? Like imagine, like in the Democratic states, they're like, no, I ain't wearing no mask, and it's like,
I ain't wearing no fucking.
And now it's like, oh guys, you don't have to wear a mask. And it's like, no, I'm gonna fucking wear this mask all the time, guys. You don't tell me what to do.
I ain't wearing no goddamn mask.
You know what I mean? So, all right. So, okay. So you wore a mask. Did you feel that you were looked down upon?
Of course. Definitely felt that scenario.
By your peers and random people?
No, not from the peers. From the random people, yes. From the peers, they accepted it because it was my choice. So
just like your sexuality, and that is your choice.
Oh my god!
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the Broskiedoodles.
No, I know, like in general, yeah.
Yeah, I just want them to know, like, that is your choice, and you want to be really happy about it. And I mean, express it.
You could also be born that way too, right?
What, with a mask?
You're saying sometimes it's choice.
Oh.
Sometimes you can't choose to be to have a different sexuality.
Right, you are right. Maybe I for some reason I just thought that moment was perfect for like a commercial for like, this is your but really no, maybe you were born with it. It's like, no, motherfucker, that's a problem. It ain't my choice. I guess what I'm saying is that's your prerogative.
I mean, you can choose to be that.
What the fuck is that word?
The prerogative.
Yeah, I mean, it's your issue. It's like it's your situation. Like, we respect it type shit. Like, whatever. I'm cool with the gay people and the LGBT community. I'm just saying, in your case, you chose this. You chose to be covered.
Yes, that was my choice.
And now,
I'm pro-choice.
You're pro-choice. And so, what's your rage? What's the problem here?
I mean, me personally,
because you come at me, for people that know, BJ comes at me with this topic, right? He's like, I went out yesterday, I need to express something. So let's get to the nitty gritty. What was the issue?
The issue for me, is that there's no way to know that like everybody in that room is either 100% vaccinated or not sick. Like, how do you know? Because they're not doing temperature checks. They're not. However, wouldn't you say? Okay, so what are you saying then? That it shouldn't be like that? Like, you think that whatever the restrictions that were taken off, they shouldn't have been taken off? Like, I agree with you. The fact that if you get vaccinated, if you go through the process of getting vaccinated, that's cool. That's great. You're helping your community or whatever, trying to curb whatever, do what you got to do. And because you're saying that the vaccinated should be incentivized. Yeah, if you can prove that you're vaccinated, by all means take off your mask. But if you can't, you should wear a mask. Because of the fact that, one, you don't know if you have it and you can give it to somebody else. Two, you don't know if you could get it from somebody else that's there, because we have this whole free system where everybody could just remove their mask.
I mean, I guess the logistics of that would be, quite
a nightmare. Yeah. I'm aware of that.
I mean, I don't. Okay, so pretty much just to let people know what we're talking about.
Hey, you can't go inside unless you either have a vaccine or you wear a mask. And you can stay outside all you want, but you can't go inside the building in a closed area unless you have a mask or proof that you got vaccinated.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not forcing you to take the vaccine. You don't have to, but understand that if you don't, you run the risk of either getting sick, getting somebody else sick, spreading it.
I think that if I get
and
it.
that way it would incentivize the people to get the vaccine, because if you get the vaccine, everybody's vaccinated. Go ahead, take off your mask.
I mean, it is a weird one, right? Because even though I'm down for the vaccines, the part where, as a libertarian, I don't feel like you should be obligated to take it, and thus.
But you're not.
I mean, if you make me being able to go to places like, he's not obligated, but to travel you need it. Well,
no, you don't need it to travel. If you want to travel without a mask, then you need it.
Well, I mean, that's in your world. Today, you need a mask and the vaccine.
Right. Theoretically, I'm saying, like, to promote this whole, get the vaccine to help curb the incidence of.
I think it should be done by each place that you go to.
Okay. So when you say each place, each individual place has its own regulations?
They should. Like, for example, let's say there's a place that wants to bring your type of people in. And when I say your type of people, I don't mean your ethnic background. I don't care. I don't see color. Like,
you don't see color?
I don't see color. I'm colorblind. I have problems knowing how to cross the street, because although I have learned where the one flashes, so even though it's the same color, it's below. So, but anyways,
I'm blind in my left eye and I can barely see on my right.
What I'm trying to say is that, like, in your case, right, you are the type that you're like, look, man, I want to be able to go to a place where I know everybody's either has a mask or is vaccinated, right? So you as a local place, as a brewery, a restaurant, whatever the fuck, you could be like, yo, look, if you want to come in here, you need to bring a proof of vaccine or wear a mask. And then you attract that type of business, right? And then you might have another place that they're called, Wildy Goose. And in there, not only do you not have to wear a mask and bring any vaccinated notes, everyone's just spitting in each other's face. And you will attract those type of fuckers. I'm not 100% sure that this will work. But that's another thing.
That happened really early in the coronavirus outbreak, like in March, April, May of 2020. People, there were certain states that had certain restrictions, other states didn't. So the people that were in those states were migrating to the other states that didn't have restrictions to do whatever they wanted to do, and they realized that was starting to spread the coronavirus everywhere else where they went. So. Right. Yeah, like you can not have restrictions and have everybody just join in willy-nilly and do whatever they want, but then we're gonna go back to square one.
All right, so what's the solution? Because you're not bringing me here. What would you rather have?
I mean, I already told you what I'd rather have, and basically, you have like if.
So we need to keep the restrictions a bit longer until everyone's vaccinated.
No. Have the same restrictions, but lift them upon proof of vaccination.
Okay.
Otherwise, you have to follow the restrictions until, I don't know, like, is there really a timeline as to when we can remove our mask or be back to normal? Is there a way to absolutely eradicate coronavirus 100%? I don't know.
Right. Well... No, I agree I respect your point of view, and I agree to some extent to it. Mm-hmm. I do feel like maybe there is some debate on the other side, an argument for, hey man, everybody's fucking getting vaccinated. Like, okay, let's get this shit back to work, let's make it work. Because at the end of the day, for some people, having all those things, the mask, the thing that makes it more annoying.
It's definitely annoying as fuck. Yeah. Like I hate wearing the mask.
And I don't want people to think like, oh, really, it's annoying? Is dying annoying? I mean, I'm not talking about like, unfortunately we have to wear it, but I'm saying if you talk about general terms, having to have a mask all the time might make you think like twice about going out. You might be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna order in and stay home where I can watch a movie without having to have a mask on my face. You know what I mean? Or get together with some friends at my crib where we don't have to have a mask on our face and we can, spit in each other's mouth. So, all right. So I want to move on a little bit.
You really like spitting into other people's mouths, don't you? No, it's like a little, like a kink.
Like a fetish.
You already said it 3 times.
I know. For some reason, and it's not the first time that this has come up in conversation. The reason why that comes up is because one time, when the first time last summer when they allowed people to go back out to the bars, I went to one bar that's a very, very cheap bar in Madrid center, and it was so packed, and it was supposed to be like places went back to like 50% capacity or 30% capacity. This place hasn't ever been more packed than this time. And to me, when I was thinking of like little lines that could work in a potential stand-up thing or bit to say on the podcast, to me was like, man, not only this place doesn't have 30% capacity, has 100% capacity, and everybody's spitting in each other's mouth. Because to me, that's how it felt. It felt like a wild fucking place.
How close everybody was together, like you could just like.
And you could see like when people were speaking, the fucking. And I don't know if it's because I was more aware of it because of the situation we are in now. But when I saw that, I'm like, oh my god, this is a fuck fest, like of bacteria. And I remember I told my friends and my girl that night, I'm like, man, if I don't have COVID, I have AIDS. You know what I mean? So that's why that stayed in my mind, spitting in people's mouth. I don't like it, but it is a phrase that stuck.
Okay.
So I want to talk about a bit of your survival story. Cool that you think about that of the restrictions. I think my way, but you know, I'm still looking at things how they go, but it's good to know how it is in your side in the Miami region. You recently had the thing. Mm-hmm. You had the COVID dizzle. Mm-hmm. And, well, you know, I had to check up on my boy daily, you know. It was
Yeah.
I wouldn't say like a super scary thing, but it did cause. I mean, to me at least, it had me, just wanting to make sure everything was good. So I don't really know exactly of the ins of it when you what things that you went through. So talk to us and try not to get caught up in tangents, but explain like how did you notice, and then the steps through it, and then when you thought you were good, and what was your mental process through that whole thing.
Okay. So basically it was a scary feeling to think that, shit, um like getting this, like, you hear the news, you hear about all these people dying, and all these people developing like prolonged issues for months and years. Oh, sorry, not years, because it's only been a year, but for months. And certain people that they got like blood clots, and things were just going bad. And like you can tell that the news kind of amps it up a little bit, as far as like how you react to hearing it. I went to DJ a party for an ex coworker of mine, and I don't recall at one point in time I could have gotten it. The only thing that I do remember was taking shots and being like kind of like masked up. And then that was Saturday. On like Monday, Tuesday, I started feeling hot. I'm like, oh my God, oh shit, what the fuck is this? So I immediately I tell my parents and shit, like, yo, let's cut the distance for a couple of days. Let me go get tested and see what's up. The moment that I tell them that night, I felt like I couldn't move my body. Like I couldn't move it because of how sore it was. It felt like I had done probably like 1,000 squats, 1,000 pull-ups, like an extreme amount of weight or repetitions, and I couldn't move. And I was sweating like a pool of sweat in my bed. That was day one when I was like, there's something wrong, because I've never felt that in my life. I go get tested. I'm waiting for the results. That was Tuesday, and then Wednesday, and then Thursday. I'm going. It was my dad's birthday, so I'm going with my mom, masked up, to go buy like a piece of like a cake for him, because we can't go anywhere because I don't know what's going on with me. And I'm right outside the cake store to buy something, to buy the cake, and I get the email from the place, and I still remember to this day. I saw it, and it said positive. I'm like, this is it. I'm done. Like like the first thing that came to my head is like, this is it. I'm done. I felt like throwing up. I felt like crying. I just felt like collapsing right there when I got the email.
Last cake I'm gonna eat in my life.
This is it. I'm like, and I didn't know. I was walking back and forth. Like I was just sweating. You
were like scared.
You don't, because you don't know what to expect.
Now on this day, this was a day after you had the rough night. How were you feeling the day that you saw the results?
So the day of the rough night, that's when I was sweaty and whatever. The next day, my fever went up to like 104. I was taking medication just to kind of like ease it down. The next day was the day that I got the results. I even went to get like a fast test that day, because it wasn't getting there fast enough. I needed to know like immediately, and that result came right before the fast test, and lo and behold, it was positive. But the moment that I saw the result, I'm like, that's it, I'm done. I started like thinking about writing like a will and shit. I
Not
don't
for the
know
shit he has, for the debts.
Oh
Damn, dude, I
man.
can't even imagine. And that
Uh,
day, how were you feeling physically? Were you still like feeling like shit?
exhausted. I was feeling better than the worst day,
Mm-hmm.
but exhausted, sweating, hot, clammy, um, like I was out of it mentally. Like you get like this kind of like fog kind of scenario.
Okay. And
Um,
from that day forward, did it
from
little by little get better?
from that day forward, physically I got a little bit better, but then 2 days later, like I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm starting to feel better, and then like that was Thursday. Friday I started feeling better. Saturday was kind of weird, and I was like, you know what, I got a code from Groupon, not Groupon, from Uber Eats to get like buy some food, and I was like, you know what, I want to try ordering some Taco Bell for breakfast. And I ordered the Taco Bell for breakfast that Saturday. And I'm like, yo, what is this? It doesn't taste like anything. Up until that day, I was being able to taste. That Saturday, I lost my taste and my smell.
Fuck.
So I was like, oh shit. Like in my head, I'm like, wasn't this supposed to happen in the beginning? Now it's getting worse. Oh shit, now I'm fucked. Like now I'm really fucked.
You were like, oh fuck, it's for reals.
This shit just started. Fuck.
Like, I thought like I had the worst nights. Like, no, I was just getting a few warm up rounds.
But I started doing research and I started asking friends around that had it. That no, it takes like 5 days before you lose the taste and the smell.
And
From the
you
onset.
haven't, and at this stage, you hadn't gone to a doctor or anything like that.
No. I mean, I already got the positive notification that it was that. I didn't feel like, oh, the good thing. Well, I wouldn't call it a good thing, but the only thing that I would say that was positive was that I never had the issue where I couldn't breathe or I had blockage or I couldn't I had like accumulation of phlegm, so it never affected my respiratory system, kind of. But I did notice that I started trying to like walk because they recommended to um, incorporate 30 minutes of like just cardio to help with the process of getting it out of your system, and it was difficult. Like towards the end of it, I would start losing. Like I'd start like you can almost feel like your lungs trying to breathe in and getting to like a stopper, and then coming back.
Fuck.
So yeah, my chest was a little tight in that aspect, but it down the line it got better.
What about
And
like? Did you feel you had higher blood pressure?
you know what? Honestly, I didn't monitor my blood pressure, but I take blood pressure medication, so I kept taking it. I also did take that like once I got that, I was taking vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, vitamin B. I was taking
Right.
magnesium, potassium. I started drinking like green tea with honey and ginger and like just like as many
Right.
like home remedies as I could.
Good. I've been taking, especially vitamin D, almost since it started,
Mhm,
and who knows? Maybe that has helped me either
mhm.
go through it without knowing or defend against it. But knock on wood and shit. Um, but yeah, so okay, so you started taking the vitamins. Was the losing of the tasting weird as fuck?
It was super weird because like you would like I would taste the things, and that's like as a big guy, one of the biggest things about food is being able to taste it, you know. Like why eat if it doesn't taste good, you know? That's the whole point. So imagine, like, I would lose my appetite as a result.
You think that will sort of help you lose weight?
I think it did. I think it did. Like, I say this jokingly, but I'm obviously never gonna do it. But I should. I want to write a book called The COVID Diet. but it's not gonna happen because you'd have to get COVID and survive it. But
or get somebody to like kill your tasting abilities some other way, and then it's like, well, eating a pizza doesn't even taste like nothing, so might as well just eat the celery and go to sleep.
Right, or eat nothing, or I mean, like, eat less. Like, you, the whole thing that's driving you to eat more is the taste and how it feels going down.
Because otherwise, eating would be like an annoying thing where you would just do it so that you don't pass out type shit.
It actually got to the point where it was annoying because of the losing of the taste and smell.
And you're back. You have that now. That you're tasting.
Thank the Lord. Yes, I do.
Thank the Lord.
Thank the Lord.
Thank the Lord and thank Chick-fil-A. God damn it.
Thank Chick-fil-A. Why aren't they open today? Fuck.
God damn it, dude. How many people? Everybody has had this happen. You go to Chick-fil-A from not sleeping on the Saturday, right? You fucked up.
My God.
You're coming off a 24-hour psychotronic trip, and you get to that Chick-fil-A, and you're like, man, this shit is empty for sure. There's no line. And when you get to the fucking auto, you know, the auto thing, the drive-thru, you're like, oh fuck, this Christian fucks close on Sundays. God damn it, they should fucking cancel them for not liking the gays.
Holy shit.
All right, so do we got BJ back in the hissle? How you feeling today? Are we good?
I think we're back. It took me about 3 weeks for me to finally get a negative confirmation of the virus. But it was a struggle. One of the things that I had to do that was like cumbersome was having to change my bed sheets every day. Every day I'd have to change the bed sheets because of that.
Sweating.
To avoid that. Well, the sweating was the most profuse in the first week. After that, it was normal.
So what were you changing them?
To avoid letting, like, because you know how like the it could survive on like clothes and surfaces and stuff. So to avoid it from like it keep on
fucking with
making me sicker, you know, like.
Okay. So you just make sure that you made everything very
like
clean,
sanitary. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I do see you like maybe like you said as like sanitary. Like I see you maybe being like a nurse. Like one of those big guy nurse. Like you're the type of guy that if I was going through some shit and you were my nurse, I was like, man, this guy got me. This ain't no flimsy nurse. If shit goes down, this motherfucker can carry me and take me to the operating room and sanitize the things.
So imagine seeing me as a nurse. Oh my God.
It's either that or it's gonna go really bad. You know. You're not really a nurse, like a certified nurse. You're more like a crazy guy about to like drill holes in somebody's eyes. All right, bro. So well, I'm really happy that we got BJ back. I thought we were gonna have to.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna have to hire another support here on the Broskiedoodles, and the life insurance I was gonna have to pay. You know, it's crazy. You know, so
damn Kiko, you're getting paid.
It's like that meme. It's like we're getting paid here.
You're all getting paid.
We're getting paid in love from our fans.
Yes.
But yeah, so well, thank you for telling your story. Sorry.
We're also getting paid in Dogecoin and SafeMoon and all these other cryptos. Ethereum,
yeah, we're in
Bitcoin.
the cryptos. If you saw our last episode, you know we and Elon Musk we're on the same path. Not for success, but just of thoughts. Definitely not the same path for success, but. You know, we just think around the same. Not really, but you know, we support.
On the same wavelength.
Yeah, we're in the same wavelength. You know, we and
in
Musk,
the same spectrum.
Maybe that, but he definitely uses his asparagus to for greater things.
Greater good.
All right, so we're gonna talk about something else that BJ wanted to talk to us about, and all right, so BJ, tell us about the situation that you had recently. I told you not to tell me much of it just yet because I wanted to sort of catch it in the moment. So talk to me.
Right. And dissect it like live. But basically, I've been talking to a girl, right? And it's kind of like a girl talk scenario where there's no girls to talk to, but I don't know who else to talk to about this, you know?
Right.
So I'm talking to this girl, you know, like texting her daily. We can't really go out anywhere because of the coronavirus. We can't really do much. The funds are limited because I don't have a job. So it's been like a year plus of us just talking. Like we don't go out anywhere. We've never done anything. And in my opinion, I feel like it's not going anywhere. It's just simply like friends that we say hi to each other, whatever, no matter what, whatever. And we just go on our separate lives. So the other day, my sister ended up swallowing like a piece of plastic from like an apple pie from Publix, and she had to go to the operating room to get it removed. Right. So this is like Saturday. So Saturday, and then it turns into Sunday. She gets out and she's hungry. She wants like a slice of pizza. Right. We go to this place called The Big Cheese on Sunset Place or Sunset Drive. It's a really good pizza. And she wanted some, so we ordered some to go to takeout. And we didn't realize that we were missing something. We ordered like a piece of something that she wanted. And I'm there, like I'm like, well, we have to wait 10 minutes. Let me get a beer and sit down and chill. So I get a beer, I sit down and chill. And the way that this building is designed, there are seats on the inside, a window, and seats on the outside. So I'm looking through the window and I see like, you know, these college girls. They look pretty cute. And I was waiting for one of them to like look my way. And I'm there with my brother-in-law. He goes, "John, isn't that so-and-so?" And I'm like, "Who?" When I turn to look, it's that girl that I've been texting, talking to another guy.
Okay. Sitting down at a table.
Sitting down in a table in front of where I was looking, and I couldn't see her. She was right in front of the girls that I was looking at. So, like, it showed me that even having, like, for me, like, it was like a sign from the universe saying, like, even having this girl in front of you, you can't see her. Why are you still even, like, pursuing this?
Right.
So that's what I wanted to kind of like show you.
Okay.
And see how we go into that. And
now, if we go back to the episode we had with our concurrent guest Tavo, right, about getting to zero, do you think that this also has to do with the fact that to get to zero, you need to have your own means, your own resources to be able to offer her possibilities for experiences that can maybe turn into something, and she's there with a guy that is doing exactly that?
I totally agree with you there. Like, I'm actually happy for her that there's like a guy that went after her, because it wasn't gonna be me. I felt some type of way because of the fact that, like, damn, she's right here and I still don't see her.
Right, but what is, I know that sounds profound, but what is the real thing behind it
But the real thing behind it is that the real thing behind it is also that I can't offer her what this guy can offer her because I'm not at zero. Because exactly. I'm not there yet. Like,
okay, so is the conversation more about, fuck, I'm pissed off that there's this potential misses, right, that I could be taking out and wooing, right, into a romantic thing, but I'm not even at the level that I need to be at where I can have the tools to acquire that. So
and it's frustrating to see it, but it just motivates me more to want to keep pursuing my changes in my life that I'm trying to pursue now, you know?
Right. Well, as Jordan Peterson says, right, there's a very strong argument to give up on life when you go through shit, right? And there's no bigger hell than feeling being impotent, right? To situations, right? Like you wanting to pursue something, and one of those things that stops you is a financial situation, right? That's a hard one. And so Peterson says a very good argument to give up and just be like, man, fuck this shit. This is a hell of a thing to go through. But it's either that and just be a piece of shit in your life, or fucking use that to fuel the fire and be like, no, fuck that. Let me get to some sort of level of relevancy here in all
self-reliance. Yeah.
Right. And well, for people that are listening, you know, it's important for you to know me and BJ here, we're talking about fucking our feelings, our things here. We're exposing our most vulnerable parts of ourselves, and it's the truth, you know. And it's also to allow others to understand that, man, we all go through this shit, you know. Life is a funny pickle, you know. It's hard as fuck. There's a lot of shit that goes through, you know. I remember I've been in times in the past where you know, like I had, you know, before when I was single and shit, like there were times in my life where I went a long time without, you know, being with a girl, right?
Wow.
And it would fuck with me, right? Like, fuck, man.
I can imagine.
But it will also let me feel like, man, you're not. You gotta offer something, right? And it doesn't have to be about me paying for shit. It's like you have to be in a moment in your life where you feel good about yourself so that others can feel good about you. And that led me to fucking, you know, keep it moving, right? And we're all still in the moving zone, right? So yeah, bro. Thanks for sharing that. How do you think this makes you feel towards the future and the things that you can put into play?
Look, I totally see that this is like a way of telling me that unless I can achieve these goals of providing for myself, how can I expect to provide for another person? You know, if I can't even provide for myself.
Right.
So it just like sets me on the path of doing what I have to do to become self-reliant.
Yeah. I think I was talking to him the other day. I put some post and on Facebook where he said that delayed gratification is one of the most, if not the most important factor for success, and it's such a hard one to do, you know. Mm-hmm. And you know, like pretty much like to get to zero, provide for yourself. You gotta pay for your bills. That's the main thing. And the other, fucking be healthy, be in shape, right? And when I say this, I don't want to do this in a fat shaming way. I mean, me and BJ, we might fat shame each other sometimes because we want to push each other to lose weight and shit.
And I expect it from him.
Right. But you know, I'm not someone to talk about this in a mean way. Although I will say that anyone that thinks being overweight is cool, it's not. You should be aware that it's not cool. Like me and BJ are aware of it, and we're trying to fucking solve that shit, right? Now, that being said, I saw some like snippet of a podcast that just came up on my feed on YouTube. Mm-hmm. I won't say who it is or anything, but like they were talking about like, oh, I don't hang out with people that drag me down type shit, and it's like I don't hang out with fat people because if you're fat, that means that you're not an evolving person, you're not a person that progresses in life. You don't have, so it's like I don't have to be with that type of people, and it was just very it just felt like a piece of shit, right? And it's like in Japan, for example, if you're fat, they won't hire you at a very important firm because it is true, right? Like, if you cannot lose weight, there is some self-discipline that you're lacking. Now, that being said, for somebody to say that because you're fat, there's nothing that you can do to like I don't know, improve my life or add, is like, are you fucking retarded? Like, there's so many, like, life is so many things, right? Like, who you are, and you can have skills in many other things. You know,
Right.
like when I was growing up, I remember being really good at school things, at math, at the things that I like to do. And then I saw some other kids that were really dumb, but for some reason they were able to go to the gym 3 times a week, every week. And I'm like, how is it that he has half of the IQ that I have, but he can just fucking continue to go to the fucking gym, right? So I'm just saying this because I found it weird, right? What do you think of that? Like somebody saying, oh, because you're fat, that means that you don't have it in you to even be a person that can provide value to others, because you know the reason why you're fat, like fat is just a reflection of all the failings you have in your life.
And how like basically all of them piling up, and then you're like stress eating because you're not succeeding in a certain point in life, and you become like overly fat or something like that. Is that what you're saying?
No, not even more abstract, meaning like they're saying, right? They're saying it in a way like, if you're fat, that means that you don't have the power to be self-disciplined and eat less, right? And reach your normal weight.
Uh-huh.
And that means that you don't have the discipline to do other shit in life that are gonna take you to success. And I can see how that lack of discipline will hinder you. Will hinder you in some aspect. But there's other parts of a human that are not, you know what I mean? Like, you could be successful. Like, you could have a fat guy that fucking wrote, I don't know, a computer code and became a millionaire or whatever the fuck.
I would have just gone with the fact that because you're fat, you're more likely to develop like heart disease, you know, like stomach disease or colon disease, as opposed to a skinny guy. So it's like more time in the more time out of work, more time spending money off of the company, like healthcare insurance, whatever the fuck. And I mean, and not that that fat guy is less valuable than any other member of that team. He could actually be even more valuable than any member of the team. But the issue is that now that his
costs of operations are higher.
Exactly.
All right. But I was just talking about that example in Japan with companies. I'm really talking about like being friends. Like, this guy is saying like, look, because he's like, my friends, I don't have fat friends because I don't want to surround myself with people that are not in the same wavelength as me when it comes to progress and evolution and all this shit. And I was just like, wow, man, this guy is such a fucking little prick piece of shit. Because on one side, you know me, I mean, we don't fucking say that being fat is cool or anything. No, we know that it's bad, and we're trying to solve this shit. I mean, it's hard not to stuff these pizzas on our esophagus, but we're fucking aware that it is bad. Now, I won't say that on the other side, that if you're fat, there's nothing that you can add to the society or even to me. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, I thought it was a bit stupid. But
it seemed like he had a very limited worldview.
Yeah, it seemed that way. All right, so moving on, but staying within the topic that you're talking about.
Okay.
I mean, I feel bad for you in the women situation because of your geographic location. You are in one of the worst places to find a good woman, which is in Miami. And I mean, I'm not trying to, you know, be offensive or anything.
Yeah, no.
I'm just saying, like, people are a lot, I mean, you gotta be honest, people are a lot more superficial in Miami than in other parts of the country. And if I go even further, in Europe, it's a lot more equal, right? In that sense. So it's like, you don't have that pressure of it being super expensive to do things. And I don't know, at the end of the day, this is like a thing that happens. Like, when we have young people growing up in life, fucking up, doing things,
right?
You know, sometimes you don't have the funds, you don't have the money, you have to go from the bottom up. And I think you're in a city in Miami that is so important to have the money to fucking
the money, you know? the house, the cars, the clothes, the watches,
the body.
The body.
Yeah,
it stacks up.
So, what do you think would be your so with this girl that you were talking to? when when you say that you saw her, right, and you're like, even when she was there, I couldn't see her, right?
Right.
Like, do you think this means more like, even though she was in front of me, my combined potential wasn't enough for me to acquire that? Was it something like that, or more like I didn't see you because I'm not really looking where I should be? Like, I'm trying to be a little more philosophical here, but
Okay. So to me, it felt more like even having you in front and like looking, because I was looking for chicks. So if I was looking for chicks and she was one that I wanted to be with or pick or, you know, spend the rest of my life with, why couldn't I pick her out first? Like,
oh, I mean, that's how deep it was. Like, that's how much you liked her.
like, no, but like, you know, whenever I talk to a girl, I always see the potential. Like, I always have to think to myself, like, can this be a long-term thing or not? And just establish that from my head.
And with this one, it was a possible one.
It was possible because of the you know, the relationship that we had, how long we known each other, you know, like our friends and families that we share and all that stuff. So like it made sense, but I couldn't I just couldn't see it, you know, for reasons that I have internally as to why.
Moving forward, do you think there is a way to start getting in the game with your current situation, or do you think it's imperative to get to zero?
Because see, that's what I'm thinking. Like, dude, like, let's say it takes me 5-6 years for me to get to zero. Right. So in 5 or 6 years is when I start dating. 5 or 6 years, I'm basically going to be 40.
Right.
So like, what are we doing here? You know?
Well, we would want to try to get to zero maybe in the next year or so. So,
but then that would require a level of commitment that apparently the Japanese we lack, or well, discipline, dude, that we lack.
Well, dude, even with my lack of discipline, I'm taking care of my shit here. Right. So what I'm saying is, I think you can as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Within a year or so. You know, I'm just speaking like, you know, trying to like, I don't want you to make you feel uncomfortable. Let me know if anything.
No, not at all, bro. You know, like you said, we're here. We're human beings. Right. We're sharing our feelings, our innermost thoughts with the world. And
all right, so ideally speaking here, bro, what we need to fucking do, obviously, the getting skinnier part, that one, I actually think is harder, right?
Probably the hardest one, yeah.
Yeah, but getting the job and fucking moving the fuck out, that, even though it's not an easy task, I would say it's even easier than losing weight. For me, that's how fucking hard it is for me. That's how hard it is for me to lose weight. So yeah, dude. So that's the first thing, okay. And I think you can get that going in the next year or so. So I think there's gonna be a booming economy now that things are opening up, and definitely. And I'm also in the search for improving the situation where I'm at. I would say I'm at 0.00 and then some numbers. So it's, you know, very there. It's like that line in a calculus where it's very close to zero but not to zero. But at least I'm on the positives. But now I'm trying to get on that curve to get the shit popping in this bitch.
It's approaching infinity, but it never touches it. And then it never touches zero.
Right. Once I can get the pounds off me, which is not bad, it's going there, then we can bet it a little bit higher, and then, you know, started from the bottom, now we're here. So we started from the bottom, now we're a little bit above the bottom, but still at the very bottom, but not the bottom where we started.
But now we're here.
Important to note for people out there, just being aware of what the fuck is wrong is half the battle. I don't want to sound like a coach. I'm not a coach for shit. I'm bad. I'm fucking up. But I'm just saying, like, for you to feel good also, if there's shit in your life that's wrong that you need to fix, just the fact that you're aware of them and you know, that's a lot. Because you know what's scary? There's people out there that have issues, that have shit that's fucking them up. They don't even know it's an issue. You know, like when I'm eating pizza and shit, I'm like, you're fucking out, dude. You're fucking out, Kiko. Come on, doggy.
Come on, bro.
Come on, dog. You know, when you get the Haagen-Dazs, fucking dulce de leche, fucking ice cream to the dome.
Oh my god.
You get the jitters. You get the jitters, right? You're like, come on, Kiko. You know you're fucking up. So knowing is half the battle, but we still need to now take actions, right? And obviously this is not a segment to fucking shun or fuck with BJ. Obviously this is all in good hearted, and we want to let people know that we're also vulnerable here. I got my own battles to do. He has his own battles, and we're going to keep you updated. Hopefully in a year, when we have this fucking podcast, BJ's going to be in his own little place.
In my own place.
Little place. Yep. And maybe going out with Juanita every once in a while. You feel me?
So count it. We're in 5/16/2021. So 5/16/2022.
All right. So that's what we have. Start a countdown now for BJ to get
the fuck out
to the first zero. Not only is BJ gonna be super happy, his mom, she's gonna throw a party. And I want to be in that party.
Shit.
And then we can even move into setting up.
I'll fly you down.
Setting up BJ's what?
I'll fly you down when I move out.
Well, dude, I mean, you don't know, dog. The Broskiedoodles is a nomad. You know, you see me here now. We don't know tomorrow, Papa. I'll be all over the world. So no, but on the reals though, once we got BJ on his own place, we're going to make sure he gets set up his studio for the music, for the streaming, for the things going on.
Straight the fuck up.
So that's the next step, all right? So if you're out there and you're like in a shitty job and you're like, man, fuck, what am I doing? Dog, if you're working already, if you're already making little tacos at Taco Bell, dog, you're a little winner, homie. You're doing it. If you think you have a stupid job, fucking do that shit with pride, dog. When I was making them pizzas, homeboy, hooking them up, dog. I was hooking them clients up. Not people I knew, just strangers. From me to you, you know?
Treat people like you want to be treated.
Hell yeah. Do you think that because of this whole thing that we've been experiencing in the world, that we're going to come out of it in a good way? Meaning that people are just going to be happier and less pieces of shit?
I really hope so, but I think it might be the opposite.
Damn, for real?
No, but I think people are just starving of like sensory, like being close to people and, you know, not having the mask and like that whole scenario of just back to normal. But so you will see definitely an uptick. And then we gotta get this back going, bro. We gotta get this up. Definitely.
That's what's up. I think, you know, I always talk about this. Maybe I'm repeating myself. And when you have a podcast like this where we're talking shit on the constant, we're probably gonna repeat ourselves every once in a while. But I've been saying for a minute, back in the fucking flu of the Spanish flu, the 1917 flu that also lasted for 2 years. It ended in 1920. The Roaring 20s came. And people had all this energy packed in that they fucking exploded. So I think that we might have that happening now too. You know, we had the pandemic to 2020, pretty much 100 years after. 2 years that we're locked out. I think this year is still going to be a funny one. I think this year is still going to be iffy. But I think 2022 is the year.
For massive gains.
Now, that doesn't mean that we don't start working from now. No, we need to start working for now so that we can fucking start up on 2022, right?
We need to work from yesterday. Like yesterday. We have to have been working.
Yeah. We need to make up work from fucking, you know? So BJ's got to get his ass ready from now so that on 2022, he got his own little cribbo.
And he's doing shit.
I'm hoping I have a fucking better economic situation. Hopefully another job or doing a thing on my own. You feel me? Maybe I'll open up a little hot dog place and have a little brewery there and make fucking Sasquatch. No, Sasquatch is the guy. I mean, like, you know, Sasquatch is a fucking monkey.
I'm round, I'm getting it.
You feel me? Like, grab some pineapple and shit.
Yeah.
Age that shit and mix it with a little vanilla and get some fucking beer and sell it for $25. Call it IPA. IPA is dick, dog. IPA. You know what? I'm gonna make my fucking beer. I'm gonna call it IPA la pinga.
IPA la Cervantes production. Like Cervantes almost with production. The cerveza.
I also want to see where we at in a year in regards to subscribers. If you're listening to this and you're not subscribed, which it will be very weird because
like, how did you find us?
yeah, it will be very weird. But if you enjoy this, please subscribe. For the ones that are already subscribed, I do this shit for you, dog. You guys keep me going in this bitch. Give a little like, put a comment, even if it's just like, oh my god, dude, for reals, you know. If we got a homeless people watching this shit, like from his fucking iPhone and under the highway, maybe this is the day you're like, hey, fuck, I could do this shit too. You know?
Absolutely.
Ask a friend for a tie. You know, start applying the jobs, man.
Mm-hmm.
You feels me?
Just help the person next to you if you see them going through some sort of issue. Like, if something falls over, help them pick it up. You know, if something is out of reach, help them reach for a can. Like,
so you even think it's like the small things. Yeah,
like just little random act of kindness. You know, like really goes a long way down the stream. You know,
I heard on some movie, it's probably corny, but a collection of random acts of kindness all around can, you know, trickle down to some, you know, I don't know, maybe like an energy that the society can feed off and we can maybe be a little nicer to each other, you know. I think that's the goal moving forward. We're gonna have tough times. There's probably gonna be a crisis coming, but we're also gonna have a lot of human capital ready to fucking burst. And we're not only gonna get to zero, but we're gonna get to the moon. Dogecoin, woo!
To the moon.
I'm kidding. I don't. I think I don't know if BJ owns them, but
safe moon to the moon. Definitely hold safe on. You just buckle up and we got this.
We're going forward. Well, Elon Musk is my boy. I might trust him on that too. Thank you all for listening. It's been fucking great. BJ, thank you for being back, bro. We're so happy.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate you having me on here, bro. I really do.
All right, my dog. We're gonna be hoping that in the future, BJ can have a nice meal where he can smell all of the flavors and taste them like it's supposed to. And once again, thank you for tuning in. We're also on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, you know, wherever you gotta see it out with there. All right, like it, subscribe, share it, tell your friend about it. Look, you have this guy, man, that's fucking crazy. Talk about